Hello, guys. Welcome. David Sickenham Comic here, doing a live show for Collectors Corner. All right, so there's so many things to talk about today in this very short time. Um, there's a lot of things going on. People are talking about Funko Pop. Are they dead? Are they going bankrupt? Are they going to stop making pops? What's going on? Along with Absolute Batman has hit the news other weeks, and the prices of that book is going up and up and up, along with 60 covers. Something that I want to discuss is, does 60 covers make the sales or does it break it? Why people collecting it? Are you tuned with 60 covers? And things like that, and along with some other things that we can kind of go around and talk about. And hopefully, that some of the panel members will be joining us today. If not, I can go solo for about an hour or so. I can talk to myself all day, along with one people joining me right now. So, aloha, aloha. Um, Also, I want to shout out to 789 Comics uh, for their great support of this channel. Use that code 7 SNMC to get 10% discount on all your channels. And along with, I do have a new comic book day weekly videos that drops every Sunday. Check that out as well. And also make a pick of the week, which I think is a great cover and might get some attention on the top 10 throughout the YouTube community. All right, so let's talk about Funko Pops. All right. Funko Pops has been kind of dying when it comes to collectors. Um, Maybe they're very saturated, make too much of it. I don't really know what the whole deal of Funko Pop, but what I did was I did some um, reading about Funko Pop, and they have grossed about 8 million in profit last year in 2024, but somehow they have lost $1 million in sale this year alone due to a 14% drop in sale in the third quarter um, call. And the owner, the creator, the CEO, whoever is in charge of Funko Pop, they say they might not survive another year of creating this collectible bobbleheads and things. As you can see in behind my back, behind the back, I do have some few um, Funko Pops that I thought it would be kind of okay through my collections, and I stopped buying them because just too many. I think it's just another form of fad that kind of is fading away. And how would that affect the market? Let's say they stop making it in 2026 completely, whatever they have in inventory. As you know, some I believe it was about a year or so. Um, Funko, he says right here is a Faye Allen. I don't want Funko Pop, Funko Pop forever. You know what? I am kind of in your area as well too. It's like Funko Pop is anywhere you go, you can find it in Walmart, you can find it in TJ Maxx, all discounted prices. There's a very demand to it. I don't know what it is. It's something like Labubu. It got hyped up because some other influencers and celebrities start carrying them, hanging around the bank. But they have lost millions and millions of dollars this year because it's starting to fall. Why is that? I think it has to do with saturation. Just too many out there is, and to a point where if you make too much of something, when you start, okay, let me start this. When you have a hot product and you start making millions of these products, people want it, get it. But if you keep making the same amount that you have done uh, during the hype, eventually the demands will fall because it's just too easy access to get these. Before it was to a point where it was not an easy thing to get. You have to you know if you go to a pop mart, whatever, you can buy it back then for what, 25 $24. Now it's like 27 30 $45. Secondary market has kind of hurt that as well too. I think it's the same as the Funko Pop. When it first started, it was a great idea, but it was to a point where the greed of making these has dissipated on the demands, and just too much out there. It was just too much. I know a person on YouTube. I don't know if he still collects them, but Spider-Man Grandpa Spider. I mean, he has over thousands and thousands of Funko Pop, and it's great. You want to collect what you want to collect, but at the same time, what would happen if these Funko Pop doesn't make it anymore? And to me, I think the value of that Funko Pop will drop significantly unless you have this really rare one out of 50 limited. There's only 50 of them, but even that is not numbered. It was just say one out of 50. It's just like comic book. You say there's a 500 print run. How can you believe that there's only 500 if it's not serial numbered? Well, like one out of 100, two out of 100, and to a point where I think the and I guess that uncertainty on the non-transparency when it comes to this type of collectible somewhat kind of hurts the market. you know I do have comic book that is limited to 500, but how do I know if there's only 500? Later to find out that there's 500 actually made it into the market, but there's few other hundreds that was given to the publishers, the writer, the artist to give away, I mean, so they can sell or give away to friends and family also. So that 500 is open to the public, but that other 400 that was given away is also will be part of that 500 run. So we're not looking at just 500. You're looking at close to 1,000, a double that. So be, as you collect, as this collectors collecting, you just have to go by your guts and say, do I really want it? Do I not? If you do not put any monetary value on it, and just be happy with the fact that you got what you wanted at the time when you got it. And I'm starting to learn that as well too. I mean, I'm collecting for over decades, and is still learning. The former gets the best of you. But Funko Pop is dead. I think so. It's been dead for a while. They're still making it. I hope they stop, and I hope they kind of limit their production. And if they're gonna do a limit of like exclusive New York Comic, or San Diego Comic Con, put a serial number. If it's 101, 102, just put one of 100, two of 200, and things like that. And then same thing what they do with the with the collectible cards, because it has a parallel serial number individually. So I think that is one way to go. So, and other thing is I want to talk about is yes, absolute Batman has been heating up in this market right now. The first print and raw probably going. Um, what's up, CBA? How are you?
What's up? How are you?
Good, good. Ken, is your mic on? Okay, because
Can't hear me?
oh, I can hear you now. Sorry, my volume was down. Um, I can't believe it's been 2 weeks already. The time flies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did talk to my wife about about things that we talked about 2 weeks ago. She said she's okay with it. So let me get some materials. Due to the lack of time that I have, free time that I have, is very hard for me to come up with anything. But I remember you mentioned that the market would crash in 6 months.
Something like that.
Yeah, well, it crashed in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it crashed a little bit. It
Yeah,
did.
oh God.
but it's not like 10 or 20%. It's just a little pullback. But yeah,
Well,
you're
10 or
right. It crashed a
20%
little
is
bit.
a huge loss. You know, we're
Yeah.
especially when it comes to cryptocurrency. I mean, the
Oh,
Bitcoin.
crypto definitely crashed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not touching that stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't trust it. It's not a reliable asset, I don't think.
Well, that's what they say when it first came out in what 2000 and what. When did the Bitcoin started? About what decade? 2 decades
Oh,
ago.
something like
And
that.
it was what $50 per share, or what per coin, and now it's over what 96,000 dollars. So I wouldn't say if it's not a a solid investment, but to a point where I think this is where the era is going. That cryptocurrency is the way of the future, the way everybody's seeing it. But would you invest in bitcoins? I don't have that kind of money to invest to begin with, but there's some other type of cryptocurrency that people are investing in. They're losing a lot of money because some of them make it, some it doesn't. So just be careful of you know what you invest in.
Yeah, so there's a lot of exchange traded funds that you could do, to invest in crypto, whether it's Ether or the Solana or the coin, whatever, and they're not as expensive per share. But those have also crashed recently.
Oh God, anything to do with cryptocurrency has just fallen.
Yes, that's
I
true.
mean, there was this one mining company's Mara is one that actually makes the Bitcoin. I mean, they were over what 15, $16 at one point. Now they closed the market this past Friday at $12, $11.99. Which of course I had some few $100 left over that I could, instead of buying comics, I bought a few of those shares. Um, Mara, I mean, if anything happened, if it bounced back to $15, I'd still be profitable, making a few $100. But we can go more into that once me and CBA kind of get a new content in this in my channel. Will be, I guess, what stock market.
Yeah, and we can talk offline for a couple times,
Yeah,
just so you can get into the swing of what we might talk about
yeah,
or what you're comfortable talking about. Because I don't know if you're aware of these exchange traded funds that I'm talking about. So maybe I just need to give you some info on that. Maybe can you just send me your email through
sure,
Instagram, and then
sure,
I can send it. I can send stuff to you better that way
yeah. And
rather
then
than
I also want to know some terminology so it is easier
yeah,
for me to understand as well.
yeah, yeah,
Um, as right now, I go to my app and I'm trying, like, they asking me if it's you want to buy low shares, a market, things like that. I'm still not familiar. I just asked a basic question. They said it's better to go with the market, you know, click on
right.
market and
So those are just very, those are
basic.
very beginner type of
Yeah.
terminology. The more advanced terminology on these exchange traded funds are stuff like calls and puts and synthetics and derivatives. Those are really advanced. I cannot understand what these guys are doing, but what they do is they make money off the volatility. So the more it goes up and down, the more money you make. That's the idea. So people like Spine Ticks, Steve, he's really heavily invested in these. But if you look at the net asset value of these things that he's invested in, they've gone down. The counter argument he makes is he makes a lot of income off the distributions. So, like stocks, you get what are those things called with stocks? The income. Um, yeah, I'm forgetting my words. We're gonna have to talk offline,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to send you info so we can
Okay.
get
So
a
we
better
can be in
grasp.
tune, be in sync with what we're talking about. Kind of sound like right now it's a beta version of it right now. So we, as you can see, if you're watching this on a rewind, that we will have another content like every week. We'll do maybe half an hour to an hour, video talk about stock markets and something fun. When we're not a professional investor, we're not a stock market exchange, so and so we just want to talk about a stock that maybe can happen, maybe something that you might not know. It's going to be educational for me as well, and hopefully educational as for you watchers, whoever watching this on the rewind later. So
Right.
we
So
can talk about.
just like there's a comic book community, there's this community that does these types of exchange traded funds. They're really into these distributions, these weekly distributions, but they're so very risky.
Everything to me right now, anything risky, but like I said, we can go more into that as we as time progresses. As time passes, as I get to know more of the terminology, will be easier on my tongues instead of you know stumbling on it.
Yeah,
And
we can take a couple months just studying, and that's
yeah,
fine
yeah.
because by the time we're done studying, the market will be at a nicer level where we can pick some
Yeah.
investments that are
Well,
affordable.
also we can kind of lean back to today and say that hey, during this time, the reason why it happened, it'll be fun. It'll be educational. I think it'll be good for the listener, and if maybe a one or two thing. But until then, if you're watching Spine Take, you guys probably are pretty much educated already about you know about what Steve does and his personal thing when it comes to investing. But as for me, the only thing that I invest is comic books and sports cards. So I just want to talk about the few things that I put on today. Is Funko Pop, are they dead? It seems like as though that the owner or the creator of Funko Pop has mentioned that they might not survive another year of making Funko Pop. So it might
Yeah.
actually just go bankrupt, or they might sell. I don't know what is going on, but they seem like last year in 2024 they had increase of profit of almost $8 million, and now on the third quarter call they have lost profit of $1 million so far. It's just this is just pretty much icing. But I think overall, I think they are close to losing about $240 million. They might actually go bankrupt. And was it last year? Was it 2 years ago that they are dumping like over millions of Funko Pop they can't sell? So they were just dumping and just throwing these pound Funko Pops that they can't be sold. You know.
Right. So the latest trend is that, people are facing hard economic times. So stuff that are typically people that just waste their money on, like Funko Pops or something like Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme and Funko Pops are probably going to be bankrupt in the next year or less than a year from now.
I mean, yeah, even Krispy Kreme has been losing love. Even Starbucks. I mean, if you look at Starbucks,
Starbucks, yes.
they're closing. The one of the biggest Starbucks reserve has been closed here in Seattle.
So Starbucks doesn't know what it wants to do. So on one hand, they don't want people loitering there, and then on the other hand, they want to put nice music so that when you stay there, it's fun and relaxing. So they don't know which one they want. If they want you to stay there or not stay there, it doesn't make sense.
Well, I think they should just stick with the old value they stick with. I mean, regardless if it's lounging or not. I mean, it is something that you have made, your foundation of people coming to your store or your boutique or whatever you want to call it, and have them enjoy the ambiance of what you provide for for the people. Yes, a lot of people go there for free Wi-Fi, just sits there with a cup of coffee for hours and hours and hours. But it it give it would kind of be bothersome if it was a restaurant, but if it's a coffee shop, I think that's what it was meant for people to stay there in the comfort of your store, to enjoy the coffee and the ambiance, and have able to just kick back and enjoy for an hour or two, even half an hour. But
It's
you
not very
may.
affordable now, though. If you go buy a Starbucks, it's way too expensive. There's other coffee houses where I live that are much more affordable and taste better. And I noticed too, similarly, like Starbucks is what's the one that starts with a P? Pete's. Those
Peach,
are
peach
really
coffee.
that's even more expensive. Pete's and Phil's, those are more expensive than Starbucks, and they don't even taste as good, or they don't taste better. So it's like, why do I want to buy this stuff? You know?
Well, it's I can tell you for a fact that my wife is she's I mean she's a avid coffee drinker. You know, she has her own barista machine and in her kitchen and stuff. But when she goes to the Starbucks, it's more of an experience. Um, saying she loves I remember she would love to go to Starbucks and Reserve on on Pike Street up in Seattle, and it's just the way that it was designed, the way it was the layout. I mean, it's to a point where it's like a museum. You get to go there and see a lot of things, and she always loved it. She always take a picture of it. She always upload pictures, on her Instagram saying I was here. But what you said was they don't know what they want. Is I think they know what they want. It's just how they're gonna keep doing what they started up with. One is other one is that the worker wants unify. They want to get union. You know, but they don't. But the CEO of Starbucks don't want to provide that because they know that it's gonna hurt them at the long run. But it's I don't know. It's to a point where this economic time and era is to a point where nothing is certain anymore. And nothing is certain. You know, I mean, I don't want to talk politics, but I think that also has to do with, LGBTQ, the Black Lives Matters, all things kind of constructed to a point where it's going to blow up, and I think it slowly is on a time bomb that it's gonna blow, and nobody know what's going to happen. And I think I think this is a very unfamiliar territory for this economic time for anything, even collectibles. Like you said, nobody is able to spend $15 to $20 on a Funko Pop no more because they rather have put that in their food and in their groceries instead. But yeah, so Funko Pop, I think to be a point where what is headed, I think it's going to be a dead product for within the next year or two, maybe maybe within a year in the greatest time. But it was a great collectible. It was a good concept. But when you over when you overpopulate or saturate the market with millions and millions of Funko Pops, it somehow it doesn't drive the what was that, the demand. There's a lot of supplies, but there's less demand now
It
because
also doesn't make much sense for the collector because you only have so much room in your place. You only have so much real estate. So if you buy 100 Funko Pops, where are you going to put them? So
true,
I only own two, and I didn't buy those. Those were gifted to me. I don't want to buy those because once you start, you will not stop.
true. I think there was this one YouTuber. It's called Spidey Grandpa.
My grandpa, he has a lot.
Yeah, he. I think the last time I saw it, it was like 2,700 something Funko Pop that he used to post it on Instagram. It's like, what do you put all that? You
I
know?
know. I know. I think some collectors do have like what do you call that, storage space kind of things? Those little garages where you can put your extra
Yeah,
stuff.
but I mean, I like to display my collectibles.
Absolutely.
I don't want to be put it in boxes. Of course, comics I kind of went overboard, but but I would like to have it in my shelf. Kind of touch and see, but I don't want to put it in a storage bin for years, knowing that there's something in there, but not able to enjoy them. Is I don't know. As come to a point where it's not worth it. And even comic book junkie as well too. He has over 10,000 comic books, but I'm sure he doesn't enjoy it anymore.
Yeah, it's hard for him to enjoy because his room is so tight, it's so full with stuff, And then on top of comics, he's collecting DVDs and Blu-rays. So he's getting more stuff.
Yeah.
And
Who's
you only
that?
have so much room. It doesn't matter if you have a big house or a small house. You only have limited space. It's a finite space. So you have to have some sort of limit to what you get.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's great that you have one of the biggest collections, not being a retailer, but at the same time, it's like, are you enjoying it? Are you enjoying this hundreds and hundreds of long boxes? You
Well,
know,
he and I have talked about this. I said, you know what? Why don't you just keep the stuff you really, really like Wolverine and X-Men? I think those are his favorites, and he has certainly thought about it because I think he gets a lot of stuff that he doesn't read or doesn't care about, but he just gets it because it's such a good deal at a flea market and it looks cool, you know?
yeah. I mean, even though you get it for dollar, I mean, does it really worth anything? You know,
Yeah, yeah.
no. I
Um,
was just going through my collection this week ago just to see if I can reorganize anything, and I can tell you, like three-fourths of it, I'm like, oh man, like
it's
I
like,
want to
why
get
did I
rid of
do
it, or
that?
do I want to, bite the cost of paying 350 per book and selling it for 50 cents each? And if you come to a point where it's thousands of books of that, you're losing over $3,000 you actually invested.
Right. But, like when we were talking last time, we were talking about that new grading company, what is PSA, right?
Yeah,
PSA. So I was looking on eBay for some PSA graded books. There's certainly some there, and I found a Black Widow one, and it was 120 bucks for a 9.8 Black Widow, and I looked at that thing for 3 days, and I said I just can't buy it, and then eventually someone took it. So I just can't make myself do it, even though it's my favorite character to collect. I'll just kind of lust after it for a bit, but then I don't miss it. I don't care. I got so
yeah.
much that I have that I like. I'm fine with what I got.
I think to a point where I think a variant collector will be kind of content with what they have in their collections. There's a lot of people that are still posting like was that King of the Golden State, James. He goes out in the flea market, and it's the books that he finds is just fucking amazing. That
He
these
finds a
books,
lot of good stuff. Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
still amazing me that is these books are still out there for such an affordable price.
Yeah.
But I don't have the time to go be hunting anymore. I'd rather be
Yeah.
home.
Yeah. Donna Comic Book Junkie and King of the Golden State, they are both very active hunters. They dedicate a lot of time just to go out there and look for good deals, look for good stuff, whether they really like it or not. I mean, I think James kind of flips stuff, and
Yeah,
Don just packs
keeps
everything
it.
into his house.
I think there's a difference there. You know, it's a next show. Dig out 5 of your favorite collectible and share. Okay, we can do that. Long as you can join us, Hazel Dan. And I hope Mike is doing well. And I haven't spoken anything. So if you come on our next show, or like, you can kind of talk about how's everything's are doing on your end. But yeah, I mean, let's do that. We can dig out 5 of our favorite collectibles and share. We can do that. We'll talk about missing the boat. I remember we talked about this last year when Absolute Batman has been released. And oh, great, great. So we see you in probably in 2 weeks from now. But Absolute Batman, one of the greatest story, not I want to say the greatest, one of the greater reads that came out last year with Scott Snyder and what's the artist? Scott Snyder and
Nick
Drago,
Dragotta,
yeah, Victor Goda,
Nick
Nick,
Dragotta, I
yeah,
think.
Dragoda. Anyway, I stopped reading it from issue number, I believe was 4 or 5. To But now they have announced that James Gunn has been talking with Scott Snyder and with Nick Dragata to have an animated series to be released and sometime in 2026. So I think that's a great news because that the story itself is just awesome.
I don't mind missing the boat on it. I think after a couple of years, there's going to be stuff like that on sale for cheap.
Yeah. But did you see the prices of that raw copy of that first print?
Well, I saw the first issue prices, and then also the Batman annual one that also kind of went up in price. And I kind of said to myself, I don't care.
I mean, to me, it's like it's fine, but it's just
I've
so
seen this
close.
all before, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I wonder if this is gonna be like a Batman Avengers, Avengers, or even Batman Beyond #1, and to if it's will hold its value. Like the first Harley Quinn is still up there, still demandable. Uh, but in this universe, when it comes to Absolute Universe, I think it will hold. I hope it will hold. It's from $25 to $30 about 6 months ago. Now it's about $65 to $95 raw. You're looking at about CGC 9.8 to 225 to $250 on a first print. Is and this book is overly published. I think there's over 300,000 to 500,000 copies that has been made. Of course, it went all the way to probably 6 of the 7 printing as well too. So there's a lot of copies out there, but the first print is the one that kind of hitting the market hard. And I see a lot of posts that people are just showing off their 7 copies of the interviews and talk
I know.
about how they were right about this book, about this title. It's
Come
like,
on.
yeah. Out of 100 books that you have bought, probably 1% has panned out for you. So great. But but I wouldn't say that it's a bad story. I think it's a great story. It's a great different take on Batman, how he's not a rich billionaire. He's just a blue collar, a man that trying to save his city that he loves.
I think
So
Scott Snyder likes to do that. He just likes to change the landscape a little bit and switch up the stories and put another twist to it. I think that's his thing.
but he does it so well. That's the
He
thing.
does it very well. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I think he went to Columbia. I think he went to Ivy League school. He majored in, I guess, creative writing. That was his thing.
And he's doing it really well. I mean, his even his what was the other image book that he has done that was really captivating when I read it? Was Witches.
Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah,
That was a good.
I don't
Uh,
think he finished it. Right? It's not
no,
done.
no, no. I
We'll get
think
around to it.
he's on a 1 year hiatus right now when it comes to that title. Um, but there's like Witches. I think there was Witches. I think they call it the Bad Egg. There was Annual that has came out, but I mean, one of the books that I read was Witches. I think it was called Hollow. It was called the Bad Egg or something like that. It was a one shot, and it was a. I was like, wow, it was a pretty good read. And but yeah, so with 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 that said, I mean, if you guys have the copies of Absolute Batman first print, don't wait on. I guess this is similar like a stock market, don't you think?
Yes, yes.
Right?
Because if
Buy.
you sell it too quickly and it still goes up, then you missed out on that opportunity.
Yeah.
And conversely, if you didn't buy it because you didn't want to get it, then you missed out on it going up. So yeah, it's similar to stocks.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, people, they said buy low, sell high. Right now, I think he has to a point where you invest. You went to LCS and you sit on on the shelf, or you buy it for like what, 4.99 now per book.
Something
So
like
you
that.
invested $4. No, you invested $5 with tax and what? Okay, let's say $6. Okay, and you can sell that now for like what, 75, $95 raw. I don't
That's
see no
nuts.
reason why you can't flip it and make about what, $60 profit out of it. I would do it.
Yeah, and it's also dependent if there are people who are willing to buy, though. I mean, times are kind of getting tough, and then,
Oh, people are buying it. That's the thing.
oh, really, really, hmm. Okay,
People are buying it. I mean,
good for them.
it's like the FOMO. FOMO gets the best out of you, you know. And they think that paying 60 $75 per book right now, they might go up to 150. Never know. Yeah, I kind of curious to see when they first make the debut on that animated series, if it's ever going to be coming out anytime soon. But they say that it will be coming out in 2026. So we'll see if it's a hit. Like, and DC, they'll make some great animated series. But I think it's the artwork of Nick Dragotta will be using his type of art. So I I think it will be a hit. We'll see. We'll see next year what happens. Right. Right.
Well, you didn't like the last Batman cartoon, the one on Amazon. I was not interested in that. In
Which
that
one?
one.
The samurai?
The one on Amazon, the Batman cartoon. You don't know what I'm talking about?
I know they made another Batman animated series, but I was
There's only like 10 episodes or something like that, and it was just not. It was very boring and stale. It just wasn't good.
the storyline wasn't good, right? What you're saying, yeah. Uh,
No, nothing about it was good.
well, this one is that Scott Snyder will be being in part of the production of making the scripts and stuff. So I think it will be a hit, but I don't know how many episodes they will go into. But James Gunn and has announced that they are going forward with this project. So we'll see what happens. Um, other thing is that people are talking about uh, Todd McFarlane signatures. How they have capped for his CGC signing. I don't know what the cap was, but it's to a point where they have maxed out on their thing and it's been sold out at CGC. So my question is, would you pay how much? I think it was like 100 and what 80, 150, $175 for his signature. And I don't know if I want to spend that kind of money on a signature of Todd McFarlane anymore because he's been signing so much of them.
I used to have a comic book that was signed by Todd McFarlane, and I didn't care about it. It's like, so what? You know,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
saw
even
mine.
have it anymore. I got rid of it. It's like, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, but people, I mean, it's to a point where you sell out and you can't send in or you can't, how would you say it? You can't send any more books to CGC, even though they said that long as they get the books in by December 1st, that was the deadline. But I'm not too sure. Don't take my, don't say, don't take my word. But from my understanding is that CGC has sold out. I don't know how they sell out. It's like I didn't know you have to purchase a certain amount of his signature, but I don't
Maybe
know
sold
if
out
it,
for the year. You mean like for the like
well,
if
for
it's
the year. I mean, for the year, I think this will be his last signing ever
oh okay.
for 2025.
Well, you're just talking about McFarlane, not
Yeah,
CGC.
yeah, McFarlane. Yeah, it's 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 to a point where yeah, I'm not before. I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago when somebody said that they are going to be sending books to CGC to get him signed, and I got two books signed. It was my ASM 300, and I think that was only one because I couldn't afford. Even back then, it was like $125. I got it signed, and so and so, but of course I sold it. But I don't know. It's like hundred and something dollars for a signature, and let me bring this up. So I kind of brought up the fees for CGC, PSA, and CBCS. And let's compare the prices on these. All right. So for CGC right here, can you see, Ron?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. All right. So here's a modern bulk, 50 books minimum. Okay. 75 to present. It's a $400 maximum per item. $24. If you want to fast track, it's an additional 25. But here's the thing. Modern. So it's $27 now. I remember when sending my books to CDC, I think it was maybe at the $8 to $10 back then. And now it has almost tripled now. But yeah, it's $27 fast track, and vintage anything pre 75 is $42. High value anything over 1,000, they're gonna charge you $95 per. Am I reading this right?
So high value, $95.
Yeah. So anything that values over 1,000, they're gonna charge you 10%.
That's insane, man.
It is, isn't it?
It is.
And it's a 10 days same, but modern. You're looking about close to about a what week, month and a half. Vintage, you're looking about probably about 30 days, so 30 business days. So we're probably looking about 2.5 to 3 months. High value, 2 weeks. Unlimited value, 4% of the fair market value. So let's say $115 is the minimum they will charge you. Okay, let's say you do have AF-15 that you want to get graded, right? So let's say probably in a grade of probably thinking probably it's going to be 3.0. Okay, 3.0 last time I checked was sold for probably about $25,000. So let's say your AF-15 got graded 3.0, and you gotta pay 4% of that fair market value.
No thanks.
How much is that 4% out of what? Let's say even what 25%, 25,000. Let's do the math here. You got 25,000 times by 4%. That's $1,000.
It's not worth it.
$1,000 to get your grade, to get graded. On top of that, I don't know, $1,000 to get your comic books graded by a company.
That's not worth it.
No. Reholder. Max value 1,000. You pay $25. It'll take you 9 months to get this book. Reholder. Okay.
9 months. Wow.
Well, 50 days. So 50 days. I don't know. You guys do. I'm not good with, but I'm just thinking it's probably going to take 50 days. There's 20 days in a month for business days, so 20, 40, 60. Yeah. Well, 9 months is probably maybe 3 to 4 months. You'll get your books recased. All right. Reholder on a high value, unlimited. So anything over 1,000, they will charge you $75, and you'll get this in 3 weeks. Imaging, I don't know anybody does this. We can go. It's a bulk pressing with a pre-screen. Oh, Jesus, this pre-screen. This is like.
I am interested in their custom labels, though. I've not seen what they've done lately, but it'd be cool to see what they do nowadays.
Yeah, I remember sending one book, and I asked one book out of the 10 books that I had sent in to have custom labeled. I realized that they send the custom label 2 weeks later than the other. So I don't know why. It's just a fucking label. Oh, excuse my language. I'm sure the label should be there at the time of grading, but no, they decided to send me 2 weeks later in a whole different package. So I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
Um, and here's the one with JSA authentication is that there is no maximum value per book, but they will charge you $25 per signature. So it is it not just the tier alone, but they will add an additional week for you to get your comic book. So let's say one book has about what four signatures for you to get verified. That's what $100,
God.
and that's $100 just the fee. There's fees per item. So I'm sure that it's $25. I don't know if this is going to be included your encapsulation as well too.
No, it's not worth it anymore.
No. It said a $5 handling fee per invoice applies to all online submission and $8 handling per invoice in all paper submission. So not only that, they will charge you additional $5 to $8 depending how you want to do it. Drop it off or have it online and shipping it to them. Magazine. Here's the magazines. Um, pulps, I guess, concert posters, lobby cards. So this is pretty much it. When it comes to comic books, the CGC, they're they're great, right? And here is PSA. So this is for comic books now. Okay. Here it is. $44 on a modern plus maximum insured value of $400. Estimated turnaround is about 3 weeks. It's high value, nine about 100. Express is about 120. Walkthrough, look at that. Walkthrough a max insured value of 10,000 or more, you're paying $400, and you get it within a week. $44.
Can you
Average
define what that means, walkthrough? What does that mean?
walkthrough is you actually go to PSA
You bring
facility.
it yourself
Yeah,
personally?
yeah.
Okay.
So maximum insured value has is 10,000. He said that details that includes high resolution premium imaging of the front and back of the graded item, included greater notes that detail defects and clarify the outcome. Big deal. But all of them has that, depending regardless what modern I mean what tiers you get. I mean you're getting the same high resolution, you know. All you have to do is just scan it in a modern what scanner, you get that thing. Here's the modern. It's a $30 per comic book. So it's $3 more than what CGC is charging, and you got modern plus because you'll get your book in 3 weeks instead of within a month instead of 3 months. $30.
I just don't, I really just don't see the allure anymore of getting stuff slabbed. It just, even if I were flipping them, I don't think I would enjoy that.
No, I mean, I think I discussed this about 2 weeks ago. Is it's not an affordable hobby anymore when it comes to grading things now.
Yeah, I'm sure people make money, off of eBay or whatever, but that's just not something I want to do with myself. I got better things I think I want to do.
Yeah, no, same here. So this is a PSA for comic book, okay, and here's a CBCS. It's a new 30-day standard, $22, which is the very lowest of fees that you can get when it comes to comic book. Um, This is new. I don't know what new. Oh, new means from 2001 to now is $22. 20 days, 32. 10-day express is $40 per book that you send in, for value of $1,000 of maximum, and 4,000 it goes up to 7,000. Is like you don't have 30 to 20 day. You have only one 10-day expression. You pay $80 per book. Um, Here's a modern, $24, which is not bad. But here is a 3 week turnaround for $1,000 or less for 34. If you want to get in 2 weeks, you say about $40. And I don't understand this raw. I don't know if people still do this.
Or they grade it unencapsulated.
Yeah, unencapsulated. Okay,
You
$12.
can do that
Like, come on, send me your book. I'll do it for $2. Um,
with a custom label.
with yeah, with the with the custom label. Here is encapsulation only option, witness signature, $18. Um, $36, slab only. Um, Comic reholder, $12. Any declared value, so which is good. I think this is the one of the best value that you can get out of the three companies, that you can get reholder for $12 regardless what the book is. And this slab only, so there's no grade, there's nothing, right? Slab fee only does not include verification fee.
Yeah, that is something you could buy on your own and just do yourself, really.
I don't get it. It's like slab only.
Yeah, I guess because, like with modern art, for example, you don't want to grade that art, the you're muted, my Dave, you're muted.
Um, well, I think when it comes to sketches and things that you get done, you submit, there's no grade. It just said art. I think, which is great. I think that's what they should be doing with all art. I mean, it's just, let's say you get a signature, you get a, I don't know, let's say Todd McFarlane doesn't sketch art, right? But the way he handles the comic book is definitely not going to be a 9.8. Um, let's
Hey
say,
David, I'm sorry, I think I gotta go.
okay,
I have some I have something going on with my wife. All right, so we'll meet up and talk about the stock market
yeah, yeah,
eventually. It's no rush, we'll wait for the market to crash and then we'll do some bargain hunting.
yeah. Well, if it keep going down, I definitely gonna be buying more.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
So keep some money ready,
will
and then
do.
we'll talk about it.
All right, Ron. Thank
Okay.
you. All right.
Take care, man. Bye
Bye.
bye.
All right. So let's go back to sharing. Bum, bum, bum. Hold on, hold on. So pricing. So when it comes to CBCS, pricing is just to a point where So let's say you get Todd McFarlane to do a sketch on a book, which he never does anymore. But he manhandles it. You get it graded and get a yellow label 6.0, which was a brand new book. And you get a 6.0. Like, how would you feel to get it graded on a book that somebody has sketched? And so I don't know. That kind of bothers me. How CGC. So it's like a crapshoot of how the artist handles or signs the book. But I think when it comes to CBCS, I think they're doing the right thing by having it non-graded and just put art, encapsulated, and authenticated that it is the person that signed or did the art on the book. Um, so CBCS, I don't know, is one of the top three. grading companies when it comes to comic book. And if you want to get the best out of your money, if you are a reseller, CBCS is still at the top. And here's a PSA that who just got into the market this year and already charging you $30 per book when it comes to modern. So I've been saying this about 2 weeks ago, like how grading comic book is no longer affordable hobby or an option to do right now. So a lot of people are going raw. A lot of the retailers are still sending in a lot of hundreds of books to get their 9.8. But even though, and here's my thing. Once the company gets too high and once they start padding into that level of being monopolizing the market, is they can do whatever they want. And if they decided to um, hold hands with other companies and say, then you know what, I'll give you so many tens out of the 100 books you send, we'll give you 10 graded 10, for saying thank you for your business. I think that's how I see these companies are going forward with, is corruption. And I think there was one YouTube podcast that was sent in our IG about how the president of CGC has saying, you know what, why don't you send me your comic book and we will guarantee a bump in the grade. Things like that is just really bothersome. Um, so I think this is how I mean, think about it. What do you think? If it's worth it to grade it, not to grade it. Also, did you have many copies of Absolute Batman? Is it time to sell? If not, I think it's time for you to sell. Get much as you want as right now. As if you have like 5, 10 copies, sell 8 of them. Send two to, I don't know, CGC, or send all 10 to CGC if you know they're not 90, and sell it for 225. Regardless what it is, very excited to hear that Absolute Batman is being made in an animated series. Can't wait until that being released. And I think it's HBO Max. If anything, I hope it makes it into Netflix or other streaming format. And also, Funko Pop. I think it has been dead for many years. There's still a lot of avid collectors out there, but just be careful how you spend your money. And I still enjoy my Funko Pops. It's back here. You see it. But, that was like 4 or 5 years ago that I've been buying those. And I stopped buying them. And along with anything else I was trying to collect, is cut down many thing as possible. So anyway, I'm just trying to kill time to make it into an actual 1 hour segment this week. So see you guys all in 2 weeks, and we'll be doing a little bit of show and tell along with Hazel Dan and CBA along with me. And if anybody wants to join, hit me up on IG, David underscore SNMC, and I can send you that link so you can join us. And once again, before I go, um, 789comics.com. Go to their website, use that code SNMC to get 10% discount on all your orders. And look for that new content with me and CBA. We'll be talking about how this stock market actually is, when we get kind of familiar, when I get familiarized with the terminologies and how the actual market works. I really don't, but we can make a guess. And hope you guys tune in for that, for a new segment or new content on my channel. So with that said, till see you guys in all 2 weeks when it comes to my channel. And thank you, and see you all soon. Shoots.